Welcome back to Gentle Herb Gardening, where we uncover nature's most surprising secrets for growing richer, healthier soil, all without expensive fertilizers. If you haven't yet subscribed, take a moment to do so before we begin, because today's soil hack might completely change how you see something as simple as burnt wood. Yes, the ashes and charcoal left behind after a campfire or backyard bonfire might just be worm magnets. In fact, when I first mixed a bit of burnt wood into my compost bed, the worms went absolutely wild. And here's why. What looks like black dust is actually biochar, one of nature's oldest and most powerful soil conditioners. When you burn wood slowly, and without letting it turn entirely to ash, you create biochar, a porous form of carbon that has been used for thousands of years to enrich soil. Ancient farmers in the Amazon used it to build dark, fertile terra preta, soil so rich it still produces crops today, centuries later. But what does this have to do with worms? Everything. Biochar isn't just inert charcoal. Under the surface, it acts like a microscopic apartment complex filled with tiny tunnels, pores, and chambers. Each pore becomes a home for beneficial microbes and a shelter for worms seeking moisture and warmth. When you add it to soil, it instantly improves structure, holding both air and water in perfect balance. And as worms move through it, they grind the charcoal finer, spreading nutrients through every layer of your bed. Here's the secret. Worms are drawn to biochar because it's alive, or rather, it quickly becomes alive. When biochar is first added to compost or worm beds, it begins to absorb moisture, minerals, and microbial life. This turns those dark carbon pieces into nutrient sponges packed with life and trace elements. Worms sense this rich environment through their skin. They're naturally attracted to the cooler, more balanced microclimate biochar creates. It's not just a food source, it's a habitat. Once they settle in, they digest the surrounding organic matter more efficiently. Their castings mix with biochar, locking in nitrogen, calcium, magnesium, and beneficial bacteria. That means fewer nutrients leach away, and more fertility stays in the soil where plants can actually use it. In short, burnt wood gives worms a safe, stable base to thrive, and thriving worms mean thriving gardens. Here's the simple way to do it safely. Choose untreated wood. Never use painted, stained, or chemically treated lumber. It's toxic to worms. Stick to pure natural wood like branches, sticks, or small logs. Burn it slowly. Use a fire pit or metal drum and limit airflow so the wood chars instead of turning to ash. You're looking for black, brittle pieces with an inner structure still intact, not grey powder. Cool and crush. Let the char cool completely. Then crush it into small chunks. The finer the pieces, the faster it blends with soil. Activate it. This is critical. Fresh biochar can absorb nutrients from your soil before plants get them. To prevent that, charge it first. Mix the char with compost, worm castings, or even diluted worm tea, and let it soak for at least a week. This allows microbes to colonize it, turning it into living biochar. Add it to your worm bin or soil, mix in a small handful per square foot of soil, or blend it into your compost pile. You'll notice within days that worms begin clustering around it. The surrounding material will stay moist longer, and your compost will start breaking down more evenly. Once in the ground, biochar becomes a long-term soil booster. It doesn't wash away. It stays for decades, continuing to hold moisture and nutrients. It balances pH in acidic soils, supports microbial life, and reduces fertilizer needs dramatically. Even better, it helps your garden become more resilient to droughts. Because those tiny charcoal pores trap moisture, plants can draw water during dry spells instead of wilting. It's like giving your soil a built-in sponge made of ancient carbon. So next time you see burnt wood left behind after a fire, don't toss it out. You might be looking at one of nature's most powerful soil enhancer, one that your worms will literally race toward. Add it wisely, charge it with life, and your soil will reward you with stronger roots, richer compost, and a thriving underground ecosystem. If you found this tip helpful, give this video a thumbs up and share it with a fellow gardener who loves a good soil secret. And don't forget to subscribe to Gentle Herb Gardening for more hidden hacks that make your soil come alive. Because sometimes the smallest tweaks make the biggest transformations.